En Chile, el año 2009 se quemaron más de 2.7 millones de toneladas de carbón, 1.5 millones de toneladas de petróleo y 450 millones de metros cúbicos de gas natural para producir la energía eléctrica que consume el Sistema Interconectado Central, SIC, arrojando millones de toneladas de gases efecto invernadero a la atmósfera, además de otros metales pesados. Más del 60% de la energía hidroeléctrica provino de centrales con grandes embalses. Tan solo el 25% de la energía provino de centrales hidroeléctricas de pasada y menos 0.5% de la energía producida en el SIC correspondió a energías renovables no convencionales. Chile necesita con urgencia desarrollar fuentes de energía amigables con el medio ambiente. FibroAndes presenta visita a central de ERNC Fibrominn en Benson, Minnesota, Estados Unidos. Un ejemplo de proyecto de energía limpia que no emite carbono adicional a la atmósfera, sobre la base de una sofisticada técnica de uso de biomasa, virutas de madera y remanentes de la industria avícola. Esta central de ERNC es similar a la que FibroAndes proyecta en la comuna de Pichidegua, VI Región, aportando una nueva energía sustentable al SIC. Viajamos hasta Minnesota, Estados Unidos, para conocer la experiencia y opiniones de la comunidad. Y esto nos dijeron.
Have you had any complaints in the 3 years that the plant has been in operation?
I haven't heard one complaint. But one thing they do have is, and I think it's a marvelous thing to do, they set up a citizens committee. I didn't appoint them. They're just ordinary citizens from the community, the barber, the baker, the whatever. And if any citizen has any particular problem or complaint, they can go to the Citizens Committee. And so when we went to England to take a look at their plants over there, those were the things we were looking for. We did the smell test. There was no smell. We did the emissions coming out of there are monitored just like they are here, and it was actually on their television to see what emissions were coming out. When Fibrominn came in here, they were that was very beneficial to us as a city for tax base. Plus, they provided jobs for people, and we have I think there's between 30 and 40 jobs of people who live in the community and work at the plant directly.
Do you have any problem?
None.
None.
None whatsoever. I've been involved, like I say, since 1998 with this project, and I've served on the Citizens Advisory Panel for 9 years.
When the Fibrominn start, the community change anything?
I don't think it's changed a whole lot. The planning for Fibrominn started back in 1998, and back then there were 34 communities that were competing for having Fibrominn come here. In Minnesota, it was very prestigious to have a program like and a facility like Fibrominn. So in that sense, I think it energized our community leaders and our citizens to become very interested in learning more about this particular plant and organization, and so it energized us in a positive way. And it actually formed not aggressive, but a very assertive move to say, yes, we want you here, and we want to do whatever we can to get you and attract you here.
Your name is, and what do you do?
My name is Chuck Koenigs. I'm a retired person, and part of my responsibility here in the community is I'm a member of the Fibrominn Citizens Advisory Panel. In addition to that, I have a number of part-time jobs, one of which is driving a city bus for the community.
since it's opened from my viewpoint professionally and also as a citizen of the community. And these people have been honest with us from the beginning. Anything they've told us they've lived up to, or we've been able to qualify as being true. We've had no problem with that. And any question we've asked, they've always found us the right expert to answer the question for us. And I think we went into this thing with our eyes wide open, and I don't think any of us had any qualms about it at all once the final decision was to be made. And being able to kick the tires like you can here, I think, is really helpful. So since we were open, I think I had my first Fibrominn patient the day they opened, and that's because one of the guys was driving a forklift in the fuel hall and got a little too close to one of the pits and tipped it over into the fuel hall. And I have to say, that's the only injury that I've seen since they've opened. And how many years has it been now? Is it 3 years? We see no increase in respiratory diseases. And if you stand on the street corner now when the FibroAndes trucks come by, many people have no idea. We know what they are by, sometimes there's a little sticker on the side, and we know that they need the moving bottom trucks or whatever, and so we know what they look like. But there's no manure flying around or feathers flying around like there was before. And I was always concerned about watching them broadcast that material on the fields around us, realizing that there's way more than we, because this was an agricultural community in a time where you need less and less people to do what used to be done by a lot of people. So we were watching our jobs disappear, and we were watching all our infrastructure, hospital, schools suffering financially because of the fact that we didn't have people moving in, they were all moving out. And people were reluctant to invest in their homes and their businesses because the future, frankly, wasn't all that bright. We had the ethanol plant going, which was a real boost, and this looked to be a good project as well. So we learned as much as we could, and Rob and I both knew once the plant was built, if it smelled bad or people got sick from it, it'd be my phone and his phone that would be ringing, and our phones are in the phone book, so it's not like I have an unlisted number. I don't. Everyone who wants to get at me can get at me.
But Reed had all the responsibility of reporting accurately and telling it like it was, and we think he did a good job.
I looked at, when I went to England twice to see the plants in England, and I looked at it two ways. It was great economic development for Benson, and you want that. On the other hand, if the smell and the plant were going to make Benson a place that people didn't want to live, I would lose subscribers and I'd lose value in my newspaper, and we'd lose residents and we wouldn't attract new people. So we had to give an honest, it was a two-edged sword. It could either be good for us or bad for us, economically. And then there's the responsibility of reporting honestly. And I went over there because I think the community recognized that through the years I've been at the newspaper, I tend to say things as they are.